90.1 FM, AM 1160, WCCSradio.com. He is Bob Pollock with the Extension Service coming to join us here this morning, as usual on a Friday. And our conversation brought to you by Marcus & Mack, voted best personal injury law firm in the Best of Indiana County contest. Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Wonderful. You can give Bob a call at 479-1160, 349-WCCS. If you do, he has to put on those big, heavy cans. But
I can hear you better without them on, actually.
Leave them off for now. All right, so somebody's asking, Bob, and we want to fill them in, about the latest on the spotted lantern fly. And we're going to get to that in just a second. But
I guess I'll have to put these on.
We've got a caller. Yes, indeed. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm wonderful.
Good. Good to hear.
I have a question about iris. My iris get beautiful blooms, but the stalk on most of them is not strong enough to hold them up, so they fall over. I've seen other people's that are standing erect, looking beautiful. So my question is, what can I do to strengthen those stalks so mine will look beautiful too?
Good question. Bob, what's up?
So do you think, are they not as tall and vigorous as you think?
No, they're tall.
Okay.
And have beautiful blooms, but the stalk can't support them, so they fall over.
Okay.
They're too skinny.
And are they too skinny?
Well, I'm assuming they are, since they, can't support the bloom. Mm-hmm. And as I said, I've seen others who are nice and erect.
Can you see the fleshy parts of the roots? Are they exposed at the soil surface? A little bit,
to some degree.
Okay.
Because my understanding is you don't cover the roots completely when you plant them.
Correct. Yeah, I was just trying to get a feel for depth of planting. Now, and we can get growth-wise, and I don't know, see this with peonies also, but you can get almost excessive growth where they grow too tall or they're too vigorous, and then because of that height, they're just not able to, completely support them. So we could have a situation where maybe our soil's a little too fertile, or there are too many nutrients there, especially nitrogens, that's pushing that growth, and so they're not able to. There's so much top growth that they get top heavy and they fall over.
Right.
So is the solution in this case for this year just to stake them?
Yes, to keep them from falling over. Yes, that would definitely be an option, because it's hard to back off that fertility at this point. They've already pushed that growth and are there now.
But for the next season, then, is there something he can do now that's going to bolster them then?
And I don't know, have you fertilized or composted those?
Not in a while.
Okay. Now the other thing is they could be, if they've been in that spot for a while, they could be getting to the point where they're kind of out competing themselves, and maybe they need lifted and separated to thin them out a little bit.
Okay.
And that might also help for the future.
All right.
Because they can kind of like things get pot bound. Some of those perennials can get dense enough and thick enough that they get too competitive, and then they can get more spindly because they're kind of competing. They're too thick. They compete against one another, So they may need lifted and divided and spread out a bit.
Okay.
It'll be something
Thank
else
you,
to
Dr.
try.
Bob.
You are welcome. Now
go.
I just gave you a job to do.
Yes, you did.
Feed them their
I don't have
Wheaties.
enough work to do.
Feed them
Thank
their
you.
Wheaties and you'll be good.
Have a great day, guys.
Hey, you too.
too. All right. There you go. A little iris question. We haven't had one of those in quite some time.
Yeah, and some of those bulbs, will become too dense over time.
Yeah.
They'll just get into growing into a thicket, and then that stresses those plants, and that you just get more competition, and so they're not maybe as strong and as they could be, and so they need divided, and that's same thing with grasses. Ornamental grasses will get that way. They tend to get more of that donut shape, though.
Yeah.
They'll just die out in the center if you dig into the center of them.
Yeah.
The whole center will be died out where the original plant actually was, and then they grow out from that. And so at that point, then you can, chop all that up and divide them and have a dozen plants where you started with one.
There you go. All right. So we recall last year State Representative Jim Struzzi telling us that the spotted lanternfly in Harrisburg were so thick you couldn't walk down the sidewalk without crunching them underneath your feet. That's how thick they were there. That's not the case here in Indiana County, but we are one of the counties that is on the quarantine list because spotted lanternfly has been in Indiana County. So I want to look at that for this season. It's only been a year or so since they've been spotted here in Indiana County, right?
Yes.
Last year, right?
Yeah, I think it was last. It might have been late.
Yeah.
2 falls ago. Actually, it might have been, but it was late in the season.
And I recall looking
last
at
year was the first full year, and then so we're now going to go into the second season.
Yeah, looking at that extension map, I think I recall seeing that they were in East Wheatfield Township, perhaps?
Yes, yeah, down in that very southeast corner of the county.
Yeah. Okay. So that was happening. What is the projection for this year? Have you heard anything about spotted lanternfly spreading in Indiana County at all?
And I honestly have not heard anything, and I haven't had any phone calls about it. Now, the master gardeners may be taking care of that. Then they're not getting through to me, which is fine if they can take care of that. But no, that's interesting. It'd be interesting if somebody was listening this morning and has seen them, but they should be hatching now. They should be black, little black bugs with white dots on them. So polka dotted, black shiny body with white polka dots. Now I heard a report on the Pittsburgh News that they were saying they were coming and, they were being spotted and everything, and I didn't get to hear that full report on what they were talking about there. But, and of course, Allegheny County, Beaver County, those were where they were spotted first in western Pennsylvania, and then we started filling in with Westmoreland County and then Indiana County. So it goes the whole way across to the border now.
Yeah. We recall we followed basically the path of the turnpike across the Commonwealth.
Yes, we did.
To track them coming from east to west. And so that's all filled in. And counties added this year in 2023 here in western PA include Butler County and Lawrence County. And Somerset County has been added in. Fayette. Clearfield is now in it, and Clinton County. But the others who are on that list have been there for a while. So, the spotted lanternfly has been seen in Indiana County, not in great concentrations, though.
Not at all. In often times, at least, in western Pennsylvania, when those counties get added, it may have been one location and even one insect that was found. But once you find one and it's identified, then you're on the map.
You got to be on the list.
Right. So hopefully, if people can keep them in check, where they were found, if they might have been able to catch those and come back and monitor again. They may, and if they've found any egg masses over the winter, they may have removed those. So all those things help keep that population down and reduce it. But it's pretty tough.
Yeah.
Once with all the traffic and transportation and movement of people and things and objects, it becomes very challenging to keep that all in check. And that's why it's, spread the whole way across the Commonwealth.
One bug is all it takes.
That's right.
And especially if she comes here pregnant.
Yeah.
we've got problems.
Starts the cycle.
There you go. There you go. So somebody had a question about spotted lanternfly in our area, and that's the answer. Not widespread, and we hope it doesn't become.
No, and if it was, the phones would be ringing for sure. And there's fortunately, because this started out east, they've done a lot of work, and so we have a lot of good fact sheets, information regarding how to keep this thing in check as best you can within your localized area, and things that you can do to help reduce the population.
Well, we recall that with the emerald ash borer, we did not have this kind of success. The ash borer got here, and it did its work and moved on because it ate up all the ash trees.
Right, it did a lot of damage.
And they moved on to the next area, and they're doing their damage elsewhere now. But that's the way these things happen with these invasive insects.
And in a lot of respects, this one is more of a nuisance pest. Can be a major nuisance, but not quite the same category as the emerald ash borer, which literally killed hundreds of thousands of trees in its wake. And so this one can be uncomfortable, and all the sap, and then the sooty mold, and then the mess it can make. But in a lot of cases, it's not eliminating a species of plant or something. It can attack them, it can weaken them. Of course, we know grapes are one plant that's fairly sensitive to them, and we can lose grapes from them for sure, and it can reduce the quality of some others.
Folks in Erie County are on their edge, right?
Right. They
got a big grape crop up there. All right, Bob. Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's the voice of Indiana County, WCCS.